So I just got back from seeing Alita Battle Angel. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Now you gotta have to take this with a grain of salt because I'm going to have to review this as a movie because I'm not familiar with the manga or the anime. Just that I know it's based off anime/manga. Right now, Alita Battle Angel isn't doing that well at the box office. Worldwide right now it's sitting at 140 million. That's right now currently as I'm filming this video. And it has to make at least 500 million to break even. It was a $200 million budget plus marketing. You know, you kind of have to take that number and kind of triple it, and that's kind of how you make your profit because theater chains take, you know, a percentage out of the ticket sale and all that nonsense. I'm really hoping that this movie breaks even and makes a profit because I want to see a sequel. I actually went in this really kind of skeptical because a lot of the critics were not giving this very good reviews, yet all my friends were. Like, you look on social media, you look on YouTube, everybody who's a regular fan that's not a critic, just regular movie fans, everybody was enjoying it. So I kind of went in with low expectations because of the critic score, and I left that theater really enjoying myself with that movie. I loved this movie. This movie was fantastic. This is how you adapt an anime/manga the right way. But the sad news is if this movie doesn't make money, then it doesn't help adapt any other anime or /manga. It just doesn't. This movie has to make a profit. And I don't know why people aren't going to see it. I take the critic stuff out of it. I don't think people are not going just because of the critics. Maybe there's something in the marketing. I don't understand it, me personally, because from the very first teaser, I was hooked and wanting to go see this movie because this looks like a genre that I want to go see. I don't understand it. You have James Cameron's name attached to it, Robert Rodriguez. I don't understand why not more people are going to see this movie. Visually, this movie was fantastic, man. Like, the visual looks so good. I was actually worried because the first couple trailers, I was like, man, I don't know how the CGI is going to look in the theater. When I went and saw it, I was like, oh my God, like such a CGI spectacle. It was fantastic. I've seen a lot of critics talking about how the story was like not that good. Like,
you don't go for the story, you'll enjoy the movie.
And I thought the story was pretty interesting. The problem I saw is not with the story, is you can tell that there's so much going on that it's going to take more than a 2-hour movie. This is a movie for a franchise. You have to expand on the lore. You can only set so much up in a 2-hour movie. That's what happens when you have a movie. So I want to see them expand. I want to see what happens in a sequel. They set it off for a sequel. I want to see what happens in a sequel. But again, in order to even get a sequel, in order for a studio to even say, yes, we're going to go ahead and greenlight a sequel, this movie has to make money. $140 million right now worldwide is not that good. It's not that good. Yes, it hasn't opened up in China. Yes, it hasn't opened up in Japan. China could be a very big market for it, so I do think it's possible that this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie comes out in China and it breaks 100 million on this opening weekend. Japan is a small market though. People, just because Japan is a market that is directed toward this type of film, doesn't mean it's going to bring in a lot of money because Japan in general is a very small market. China is the market we need to look for. If anything, this movie could probably succeed over in China because you look at a movie like World of Warcraft, didn't do very well here, did really great overseas. So if it can open up big in China, then maybe it can get the rest of that money and get that sequel that I want to see. From what I understand, everybody liked this movie. I post stuff on Facebook and people are like, yeah, man, that movie's fantastic. And I agree. I really enjoyed it. I loved the amount of great acting and actors that they put in there. Christoph Waltz, Mahershala Ali, Jennifer Connelly, just the plethora of different actors that are all A-class actors is fantastic. I will say one thing that really bothered me with the movie. It was the kid who played the love interest. I hated that kid. I hated that kid. I don't know what it was about that little twinkle toe cocksucker motherfucker. I just did not like him at all. But you take him out of it, I enjoyed the movie. I like the idea. I like the expansion of this universe, and I want to see where it goes. That's the key thing. I want to see where it goes. I think Robert Rodriguez did a pretty good job directing this film. I'm glad to see Robert Rodriguez actually step back in and do like this type of spectacle film rather than try to do these damn B movies and shit. So I was actually happy to see that James Cameron producing this. Apparently, James Cameron wanted to get this project off the ground for a while now, and he teamed up with Robert Rodriguez to go ahead and get it off the ground. Hopefully, James Cameron's name is enough to give us a sequel. But I don't know. I think they could pull off a sequel if they just lower that budget just a tad. I mean, you watch the movie and you're like, yes, I can see why the budget was so high. Like, they needed it to build this world because it didn't feel like anything in this world was, like, practical. I mean, it was like this massive CGI orgy for the eyes. And it was just like, oh my God. And it looked so good. And the landscapes and everything was fantastic, but I want to know more. I want to know more about the fall. I want to know more about Alita's past. I want to know more about this Nova character. That's the problem. I think that's why a lot of the critics gave such bad reviews, because like they don't answer all these questions for you. It's like, who's this and what's this and where did she come from and who's that? We don't know, because you're trying to tell a whole shitload of story in a 2-hour film. So, yes, things are left unanswered, but hopefully we get a sequel to answer that. If not, we got the manga, we got the anime. If anything, it makes me eager to go check out the manga and check out the anime. And I think a lot of people who saw the movie will be interested to go check out the anime and manga and find out these answers for themselves. So, if anything, it brought an awareness to Alita. And the one thing that I really enjoyed was having just this ass-kicking female that just didn't give a shit, just went in and just straight kicking ass. I mean, there were some sad moments in this movie, and there were some moments where Alita just went completely ham on these motherfuckers. Like these like bounty hunters. Like just completely goes ham on them. Like she like Super Saiyan 3 on her asses. And I was like, man, this is awesome. If we can get like a Dragon Ball Z movie like this, it's like, that's all I ask. That is all I ask. But in order for us to get more adaptations, this movie has to succeed. That's just the realization. That's the truth. So some people are saying it has to hit 400, break even. More credible sources like Hollywood Reporter and so on are saying it's got to hit at least 500. I don't see it hitting that. I'm hoping China sets it off that cliff and really helps it get that earning. But yeah, so my thoughts on Alita Battle Angel, I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it's underrated. I think more people need to go see it. I enjoyed it visually. I loved the story. Want to know more about the story. Loved all the characters. Loved the actors. And definitely think this is a movie everybody needs to go check. Like, right now, there's not a whole lot out there. You can go see Happy Death Day to You. Fighting with My Family comes out. I mean, so there's not a lot out there. For the love of God, just take like $10 and go see this movie. Because I don't want another Dread where we have a great movie in Dread and we can't get a sequel because the first one didn't make money. So go out. If you're even slightly interested in seeing this movie, just go out and see the movie, and I guarantee you'll pretty much be happy that you did. But that's just my thoughts. Have you guys checked it out? Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.